Joining us now, one of the top prospects at the quarterback position in the 2022 draft. Went to Ole Miss and is ready to hit the NFL. He's Matt Corral. Matt, welcome to the program. How are you, pal?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Great. And you are here because you partnered with USAA, the NFL's official salute to service partner. Amazing fact, 8 family members that were not just in the armed services, but in the Marines.
Yes, sir.
How did that not happen for you? Or maybe it still can, I guess.
It can, but I think my parents would much rather me stick to what I'm doing.
What life lessons do you pick up being around family members that have lived that life based on discipline, honor, service, et cetera? What does that do for you as you're growing up?
Really, like you just said it. The strongest things that stick out to me is going to be the discipline and, really just the work ethic and just picking up on that and seeing, my dad work day in, day out, and go to the gym and spend time with the kids like myself when I was, growing up, and just seeing him, doing all these things that, and I'm wondering how he doesn't get tired, but I'm sure he does, but it's still, he's just handling what he's got to get done. And, my brother, he's had a few career paths that didn't end up going the way he wanted, but, he kept going and, he persevered onto the next step in his life. And, it's starting to come together for him. And, just seeing them, go through that whole process as I'm growing up, I definitely think it's subconsciously implemented into my game and my approach to football.
And it really is important for life, the different things we have to do. You got to just turn off what you want to do and you have to go do it. You told me before we started, you're at the gym. Some days you don't feel like going to the gym, but you still got to go. I mean, that's part of that honor, discipline, service, sacrifice. I have to do what I have to do when I have to do it, even though I don't feel like doing it.
Of course. I 100% agree.
So you're 1 week away from finding out your next life destination. What's your mindset right now, as you know that this could go literally 32 different directions?
I'm just focusing on what I can control. And, I feel like I put my best foot forward on the work that had to be done during the whole process. And now it's, the work has been done and now you just got to sit back and wait. But, the work still continues, obviously, because we got, as soon as you get after the draft, we got rookie mini camp and then, so on and so on. But, like I said, it's just, you can't control anything that happens from here on out. So just control what you can control and hope for the best.
You ever catch yourself thinking, though, in like 8 days, 7 days, 9 days, my life is going to be dramatically different. I'm going to be bound for some city that I didn't know I was ever going to live in, possibly. Don't know where it's going to be. How do you just process that and continue to focus on the things you can control?
You definitely got to take some thought into there for sure. But, as it starts to get a little too hectic, when you start thinking a little too far down the road, you got to bring yourself back and, really just be where your feet are. And, at times, yeah, you're 100%, you're right. I do find myself, just wondering, but, when it gets a little too deep, I got to remind myself to bring myself back and just be where my feet are and control what I can control. And, what's meant for me is going to happen.
21 players will be attending the draft in Las Vegas. You accepted the invitation. Walk me through the thought process, because it's not for everyone. Some guys prefer to be home. Some guys just don't want to be there. Some guys have whatever it is they want to do. Why was it right for you to actually attend the draft in person?
Well, I mean, like everybody, it's been my dream since I was a little kid, and, I'm in the position I'm in, and, I get to have my family there with me. And there's not many times where, in football, I get to have my family, around me because I'm very busy. But, just to be able to have them around me and be able to go places and, just to experience that, because I'm never going to experience that ever again. And I think that was the biggest thing for me. This is the once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm never going to get drafted again. And, so I thought I might as well do it like, how it's always been done, and just go to the draft and, do everything the way it's been done.
Do you pay attention to the noise that's out there, the media trying to speculate on who's going to go where and when are the quarterbacks going to go and all that? Do you pay attention to it? Do you shut it out? How do you deal with it?
You definitely do hear some noise. It's hard. It's not like you could just, ignore it all, but you try to ignore, try not to look at all the stuff. And, But obviously there's some stuff you just can't control. It's always on TV. But like I said, you just got to control what you can control. I'm confident in my work ethic and what I bring to the game of football and the quarterback position. And that's all I got to lean on as of right now. At the end of the day, you still got to play football. So when I get that opportunity, I'm gonna make sure that I make the most of that opportunity.
When you talk to teams and you have an opportunity to sell yourself, what do you tell them that you do best? What do you bring to the table that's going to help them become a winning program better than anybody else out there?
I say these three things every single time when this question is asked. It's going to be my arm talent and my work ethic, and just my work ethic approach to the game. But what's most important to me is my leadership and my ability to take over a football team and a locker room, and being able to create this bond that's unbreakable. I feel like I know how to do that because I've done it before. There's been times where we shouldn't have won many games last year. We shouldn't have won that many games this year. It's not because we're more talented. It's because we played together we played together better than they played together. And that definitely just came into my leadership in the way that the connections that we made on and off the field, and having that chemistry with guys all around the locker room. That's something that I'm going to carry on to the next level, just because you can't win a Super Bowl by yourself. There's a lot of things that you're not going to be able to do in this game of football by yourself. And that's the biggest thing to me, is just being able to create that bond and leadership to create a Super Bowl winning team.
Let me flip it around. You're going to a level of the game where everything's bigger, faster, stronger. Decisions have to be made more quickly. What part of your game are you saying, you know what, I'm going to have to step it up here if I'm going to survive in the NFL?
It's really just getting used to that tight pocket and being able to make putting your body in a position to make decisions quicker. And it's just, getting your feet in the right spot so you have less wasted movement. I think that's just, the little things that are going to, take me a long way and have a long career in the NFL.
I know some agents who will, for their clients who are preparing to enter the draft, have a range that's set up. They want the client's expectations to be set just right. Where do you think the opening is and the closing? So for you, do you have an idea of when the window opens and when you're going to get to the point where you're thinking, God, I wish I didn't come to the draft?
No, I really think, I'm not looking at it like that. Like, if I don't get drafted in the first round, a team's either going to get exactly what they paid for, or they're going to get a steal. And that's exactly how I've been, handling this entire process. It doesn't matter if I get drafted in the third round, fourth round, second round. I don't care. It's just going to make that chip even bigger.
Falcons, Steelers, Eagles, Saints, Panthers. Those are the 5 teams that it's been reported you visited with. Anyone else beyond those 5 showing the kind of interest that makes you think I could be on their radar screen?
Yes, but I've talked to every single team. So, it's not, who knows, I can't say that this team's been talking to me more. They've all been talking to me, quite a bit over this period of time. And, it's really up in the air, but I feel confident in that I did what I had to do during the interview process, the combine, and just going through this entire, pre-draft process. I feel like I put myself at a spot that I feel good about.
Are you a play right away guy, or are you, I'll sit and learn and study and wait for my opportunity guy?
Like I said, I don't care. And I'm going to find a way to get on the field if I'm going to have to be a sick guy, like you said, or whatever, whatever situation I step into, I'm going to make it work.
What's the best advice you've gotten from anyone as you get ready for this next phase of your life?
It's been consistent. It's really just be yourself. Just be yourself. You're going to end up exactly where you need to end up. And, don't be somebody you're not just because you don't want somebody to fall in love with the person that you're not. And then, you get drafted by them and all of a sudden you're not the same guy.
Yeah. Whatever that guy that we brought in here, that's good. That's a good, but that's good advice to anyone. Always be yourself. Life is a hell of a lot easier if you just
you're gonna attract what you attract, and then that's gonna stick for you for good as long as you just be yourself. And that's something that I've been very very aware about, and I feel like I did a pretty good job at it.
Well, that's the best attitude to have, Matt. We wish you all the best. We're excited for you. Congratulations on your success. We look forward to seeing what happens next week and look forward to talking to you again at some point once you know which NFL team you're going to be playing for.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you having me.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.